to you and welcome to Bengineer Construction Lecture Hub. Today we are going to discuss about profiling. Profiling of secular structures. Now, as you know, profiling is what enables us to establish the positions of our columns as well as our walls. Okay, that is after excavation work. So in some cases where we have secular structure, first and foremost, you must get the reference point, be it secular structure, rectangular structure. It must have a square four-sided, that is four-sided part, to form the perimeter for the profile. So for example, if we have this at this point, you must ensure that in this case you can adopt a square shaped perimeter, square shaped profile. All right, since we are looking at a circular structure, it can also be a rectangular shape. So once you have established this point, you get also this point. Okay, you get this point as well. All right, you also establish this point, okay, via setting out. Okay, via setting out. Once you have established these 4 points, okay, these 4 points, the next thing you need to do is to divide this into 2. Okay, so let's say this is the center point, this way too, this is the center point. But before you divide this, you must have run your profile board along this axis. Okay, you run your profile, you introduce your pegs and you run your profile board around this perimeter. Okay, so once you have done that, on your profile board you divide this. Okay, you can extract from here, get a known, maybe 1 meter, then from here 1 meter, then from here you offset the center point, or you can get it from directly from the intersection at this both end to get the center point. You also get the center point here, then from here too you get the center point here, you get the center point here. Okay, so the intersection of this gives you the mid span. Okay, gives you the mid span of it. All right, so the next thing you need to do is already let's say where we have the circumference, that is the circumference. Okay, for us to get our circumference, you can measure from here to this point. Okay, measure from here to this point. Okay, then that line comes to this intersection. Okay, this is let's say I'm using a dotted line. Okay, I'm using a dotted line here. All right, so the intersection for this, the circumference, is established here. Now for you to get here as well, you measure the same distance you measure here, you measure it inward. Okay, you also measure from here inward with your measuring tape. So let's say you have established the point here, then you come to this side as well, you measure from here maybe to this a known dimension, you also measure from here to this point. That means once you run it, it meets at this point. The same thing, the distance you have here, you measure it out here. You measure it out here. You introduce your nails on it. Then you put your rope. Then it intercepts at this point. So at this point now, you have gotten the starters. Okay. Now, the intermediate now, for you to, let's say these will represent the column points for the circular structure. So furthermore, you can offset from here a known distance, okay, to this point. From here, you offset to a known distance, okay, to a known distance. Then this now goes this way, okay, it goes this way. Then the same thing of this distance, you offset it this way as well, okay. So you get maybe at this point this way too, you offset and get at this point, you put your nail and run your line across, okay. Then from here too, you measure a known distance to this point. You also measure a known distance from here to this point, okay. All right, so the same thing applies to this point. The same distance you have from here to here, you measure it from here to here, okay. Then you also do the same measurement here as well, okay. You do the same measurement as well. All right, then what you now do is to run a line across. Now when you run a line across, you also run a line across this way, okay. Now their interception at this point, they are intercepting at this point, okay. They are intercepting at this point. All right, they are intercepting at this point. They are intercepting at this point. So in your profile now, if you're introducing your columns now, this becomes your column points. These are the column points. These are the column points, okay, for the circular structure. So this now will connect to this, okay, connect to this. Please don't mind my it's not to scale, okay. Connect to this, connect to this, connect to this, and to this. So this is how you now form the circular structure. So understand that with the profile now, these points are where you are expected to introduce your columns, okay. Then you use your Walling unit to get the curves, for that circular structure. All right, so do well to follow this page if this is the first time you're coming across my video, and endeavor to share this video as well. Thank you so much for your time. If there are questions as regards to the topic of discourse, you can send them across for further clarification. Thank you so much for your time, and do have a blessed day. Thank you.